Hi, and welcome to the Relationship School's Smart Couple Podcast. What's up? I'm your host, Jayson, and I'm grateful to be here with you today, or tonight, or this morning, whenever you're listening to this. As you know, we are all about growing up through the vehicle of relationship. We want to grow ourselves up, become a mature adult, and an awesome human being. Not that we aren't already, but sometimes the layers of defenses keep us from recognizing who we actually are at our core, which is an incredible, badass, beautiful, magnificent individual. And that's why I love relationships so much, is because you have to stare that person in the face and they reflect back who you are. So if they treat you like shit, chances are you treat yourself like shit. If they treat you like a king or queen, maybe that's how you treat yourself. And it's just a really magical path, this whole relationship stuff. So we talk a lot about long-term relationship here. We do talk about friendships, family relationships, and work relationships as well, because this relationship school is the hub for learning about relationships. Okay, this is the place if you want to learn about anything relational. So come hang out with us. We do a 9-month training. That's the class you never got in school. If you want to come do that, that's a very deep dive, very intense course. I think you'll like it. And it will, in fact, change your life. Okay, we have lots of free programs. We do webinars. We'll probably do another one in August. So we're always trying to help you in whatever way we can. Make sure you're following us on social media at The Relationship School on Instagram, or at Jayson Gaddis, Jayson with a Y. Make sure you join our Smart Couple Facebook group. Okay, it's free. And there's thousands of people in there, and our relationship coaches are in there to help you. And you just go type in Smart Couple Monogamy Relationship School, something like that, in the Facebook search bar, and you'll find us, okay? All right, in this episode, I wanted to answer some questions from these amazing high school students at Youth Initiative High School in Viroqua, Wisconsin, okay, where one of our students, Denise, who's been on the podcast before, taught a relationship class. And these are, I believe, high school seniors asking these questions, and I'm going to take a crack at it. So high school seniors, what's up? And thank you for your questions. Okay, you asked a bunch, but we narrowed it down to 7. And apparently the students were excited to hear my take on their questions. So here we go. Okay, when or how do you know if you and your partner aren't working and it's not because you're not communicating? Okay, so you communicate, so that's not the issue. When do you know it's time to break up? Like, when do you know it's not working and it's time to break up? Well, this is a question a lot of adults ask me, and it's such an important question. How do we really know when it's time to stay or leave? I like to think of partners as training partners, okay? So when we're young, we have probably many years ahead of us to partner with someone for a long time. So I think when you're in adolescence, let's say you're 16 or 18, you have many years to tie the knot with someone and find that person, that special person. That could be 20 years away. It could be 40 years. You may choose to never partner. So just remind yourself that you've got some time here. And I think the simple answer is, when it feels so bad and you don't know how to work through the challenges, is probably when it's time to end the relationship. Like, it feels so bad for months and months, years and years, and you've tried lots of different things and it doesn't help and it doesn't seem to work. That's when it's time to end. A lot of couples will go to therapy for years, and either because of their victimhood or because the therapist's skills, nothing seems to help. And so those couples tend to burn out. So it becomes almost not a choice. You become so stressed out and tired that is just the obvious choice. And then when you do break up, you finally get relief and you feel like oxygen and life force coming back into your body again. That's a sign you've probably made the right decision. But I also, to challenge myself here, I also think just about any relationship could be workable if the two people took 100% responsibility for their part and they learned how to do relationships better. And when they got stuck, they had expert guidance helping them through the stuck places. And that when they actually got stuck, the expert or the facilitator helped them get to a better place. So it's like that, right? Okay, question number 2. How do you learn to communicate with your partner or a casual thing what you like in an intimate way without hurting them or feeling weird about it? Ooh, this is really important. I'm a big fan of over-communication in the bedroom. So that's what I'm going to assume here is you're talking about intimacy, and intimacy applies, let's call it physical connection. Okay, kissing, petting, having sex, touching, etc. Right? How do you learn to communicate with your partner? I mean, just the fact that you're asking this question is enormous. It says a lot about you as an individual that basically you're saying, I think it's probably good to communicate, and so I should. Well, how do I? That's huge. Some people are like, no, I shouldn't have to communicate. You should just know me. And this is actually true in long-term marriages where adults think their partner should just know them. That's true in maybe some cases, but in the bedroom, it's kind of an unfolding mystery if you're not stuck, and communication can really help. All right. I hear you folks, if you really want to be gotten and known by your partner and you just want them to read your mind, but most of us can't do that. And communication, like more, less, stop, faster, slower, harder, softer, all of these very simple ways of communicating go a long way. Because it's you having your own back. It's you asking for what you need and want in any given moment. It's you letting them know what works and what does not work for you. This is big, okay? So that's how you communicate, very simply and straightforwardly and directly, right? And you're going to feel weird sometimes because you might have shame about something you want to have done to you, for you. And that's okay. You got to work through your shame. And we have tools here for you to do that at the school if you want to come learn. Yeah. And also you can lead with vulnerability, guys. And you can say, hey, I'm feeling weird about this request. I'm feeling weird about and awkward and vulnerable that I want this or need this or that I want to do this to you or something. I'm feeling really awkward. Are you open to this? Can we go slow and kind of explore? So please over-communicate and find a partner who's on the same wavelength as you in that way. 3, how can I work on recognizing and strengthening my own boundaries? How can I work on and recognizing the boundaries of others? Yeah, this is also important. I should probably be doing a podcast on each one of these questions, by the way. So maybe we'll split this into 2. We'll see how long I go. Yeah, so boundaries. How do I strengthen my boundaries? How do I strengthen my boundaries? Again, hats off to you for asking the question. It implies you know yourself fairly well, that maybe you have some porous boundaries. For some of you, you have more rigid boundaries. So let's assume you're more porous here because you're saying, how do I strengthen them? So taking responsibility like you're doing is the first step. I have porous boundaries. I tend to let people into my space. I tend to say yes more than I say no. That type of thing is the first step, awareness, right? Because with awareness comes choice. Next, you can Enroll some of your closest people, maybe your parents or closest friend as an ally, and say, hey, I'm working on strengthening my boundaries. Will you help me? I'm going to try to say no more often to people that ask me to do stuff. I'm just saying yes to too much. Will you support me in saying no more, even if I'm saying no to you? Yeah. See what I just did there? I'm just being vulnerable about my process, and I'm saying, will you help me in working on this part of my boundary life, my relationship life? Right? So then you have some support. Then you can do experiments with these same people, the closest people in your life that you feel safe with. And you can say, all right, next time you ask me for a hug, I'm going to say no. And I'm going to start flexing the muscle of no. And no doesn't have to be a verbal no. It just means it's a boundary. I'm a no to people taking my time. I'm a no to going to lunch with people. I'm a no going to that party. I'm a no to more homework. I'm a no to all the demands that I've put on myself. I'm doing sports. I'm doing dance. I'm doing drama or acting. I'm doing like 6 different things. Man, I am so stressed out. Something's got to give, and something will give, as you've probably found out already. So saying no to one of those things can be a good practice. And you can, again, be transparent with people. Look, I've got to say no to something. I'm too maxed out. I'm going to say no to you or this thing. And this is all flexing the muscles so that you, in relationship, in an intimate relationship with a very close friend or a lover, you can actually follow through because you've gotten practice now out in life, saying no to people and things in your life, saying no to your phone, creating little hacks on your phone that keep you from looking at it all the fucking time, Like take a break from Instagram or Snapchat or something and say no, like delete it from your phone for a month and just as an experiment to set a boundary, Yeah. And then when others have boundaries with you, because that's the second part of your question, try saying thank you. Anytime someone says no to you, thanks. Thanks for being so clear. I support you in your no. Just start saying that as a practice. All right. Number 4, how do you know if you're ready for sex? Okay, so from an adolescent perspective, this is extremely important, and I think it's instructive for all of us adults as well, which is you're ready for sex when you feel safe emotionally and physically and maybe spiritually with this person. That's when you're ready for sex. Now, I get the one night stand or the occasional drunken moment at a party that could actually be exhilarating and fun, that feels highly risky and not safe at all. That can feel really good for some people. It can also feel really bad for some people. But if that feels really good and it was a positive experience and no one got hurt and it was safe sex and consensual and all of that, that can be really wonderful. But I think you're asking a question around like, I'm dating someone, how do I know when it's time for sex and sex is on the table? And yeah, go slow. I had a one night stand my very first time I lost my virginity, and I woke up in the morning and she was gone. It was not a great experience. And I was ready only because my friends kept telling me to hurry up and lose my virginity, and I was listening to them more than myself. If I had listened to myself, I would have been really sensitive, and I'd have been like, no, I only want to have sex with a woman when I'm ready and I feel safe with her and I feel like we get each other, and I've been dating her a while and we both go slow and we talk about it, and it's like, yeah, this is the obvious next step, and we're both a yes, and we're going to go slow and be super safe about it. And let's explore this together. That's, I think, an ideal scenario. All right, so go slow, have your own back, super consensual, mutual both ways. If you're with someone who's like, come on, or they're pressuring you, or we don't need to talk about it or whatever, that's probably not the partner for you because they're trying to rush things along, right? Yeah. You want to be treated like a queen if you're a woman. You want to be treated like a king if you're a man. You want to be treated with dignity and respect, and all of your little requests are like respected, all right? Okay, 5. What does it mean for an individual to always experience detachment shortly after initiating a romantic relationship? That's such a good question. You're talking to me here. It means that you probably have an ambivalent attachment style, which means that you want closeness, but when you finally get it, you're scared and you want to move away from it. Or when you finally get it, it feels invasive. You start to feel trapped, starts to feel claustrophobic, and you want to get away. Either way, in either of those scenarios, you're afraid. All right, I want you to consider that you're afraid, and this is an old fear mechanism in your body. Because when you get close to someone, it ought to feel nourishing and really good. But the problem is so many of us come into a relationship compounded with our history, our family history, and our attachment style. And this is before you even have memory, cognitive memory, prior to 2 years of age. You're going to have memory in your body of a very ambivalent experience with maybe one of your parents. And it's going to play out in your adult relationships. So it's just an interesting thing. And you can learn more about that here at the relationship school in our 9-month training, because it's big for us to teach about this. It's so important. It's your relational blueprint. So all this is your relational blueprint playing out. All right. So again, I don't know if you're asking this question because this is you, or if you're asking this question because you're dating someone like this. You were dating them and all of a sudden they just bounced. They ghosted on you, or they got detached after you guys were starting to be boyfriend-girlfriend or girlfriend-girlfriend or whatever the configuration is. And someone detached. Again, detachment is a sign of fear. And please don't take it personally. That's my big piece of advice here for you is don't make this about you. They didn't bounce or ghost because of you. Most likely, 99% chance that it's not you. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them and their fear of intimacy and closeness and connection. And you guys were kind of getting serious there. And it was like, uh-oh. That happened to me pretty much every time in every relationship I had. Okay. Number 6, the only way I can make my family dynamic work is by completely disregarding what I want and what I need. Oof, that sucks. Focusing instead on what my family members need. Ouch. Okay, so you're a person who needs the boundary conversation we just had. I feel like they are not willing to be vulnerable and thoughtful of others, so I feel pressured to be the compassionate, the vulnerable one that sacrifices things without expecting anything in return. How can I change that dynamic? Holy shit. There's 50-year-olds asking this same question. So again, I applaud you for your maturity here and your willingness to see this about yourself. So we could call you a caretaker. You could go back and listen to the podcast on caretaking versus caring for. That might be instructive for you. Can't remember what episode that is. Yeah, so you're oriented towards helping other people and taking care of the family at the expense of your own needs. And it sounds like it's starting to get to the point where you're resenting them and it's not working for you. So hell yeah to that. That's what resentment, by the way, is designed to do, is to get you to back in your integrity, to get you to come back to yourself, right? So honor that. Respect that feeling that like, oh, this is I'm feeling pressure. I don't like this. My needs and wants I'm feeling disregarded. But here's the challenge for you. You got to recognize that it's you that's doing it. No one's doing this to you. Okay. You feel pressured to be the compassionate one, but you're acquiescing to the pressure. All right. My family is, let's see. The only way I can make my family dynamic work is by completely disregarding what I want. Okay, you're doing that. Again, no one's doing that to you. So the empowering move here is to be like, I'm disregarding myself and what I want and my needs, and I'm going to stop doing that. And you can let your family members know. Hey guys, this would be an edgy conversation, but you could let them know at some point, hey, I've been here for you and I've been really awesome and available, I think, and it's burning me out and I'm going to stop doing that. It's not good for me anymore. But here's the thing. You're going to have to evolve out of that family role, and no one can do it but you. And this is can be extremely challenging in family systems to extract yourself and evolve past the family norms and get yourself out of that family role. Listen to the podcast I did with Terry Cole on family drama. So Google Jayson Gaddis, family drama, Smart Couple podcast, Terry Cole, something like that. You'll find it. And there's a lot myself and Terry have to say about that. Okay. But I want to have your back here. I don't want you to compromise who you are for connection, which is what most people do, by the way. So you're normal, but it's even stronger in families, in family dynamics. Yeah. So you change this dynamic by changing yourself and starting to say no and getting intrinsically inside on board with that. And you're going to have to risk upsetting people. People are not going to cheer you on here. The people in the family are going to get upset. So you got to be okay with discomfort and conflict, right? And you can do it. It can be done. And you will do it. So again, congrats. And listen to tons of podcasts here. There's lots more I have to say about this. Okay, 7, how to change your relationship with yourself. Well, we've been talking about this in all the other questions. This is also a really brilliant question. You change your relationship to yourself by deciding to do so. And I want to encourage you to take the frame, don't change to meet others' expectations or to get people to like you. Change for you first. Change because you want to be more yourself. And if there's parts of yourself you don't like, make a list of the 3 to 5 things you don't like about yourself and start to tackle those one at a time. Say, I'm going to learn how to love this part. I'm going to learn how to love this part. I'm going to learn how to love this part. And you can't get rid of any part of yourself. So don't take that approach, please. Don't banish parts of yourself and shame them into oblivion, because they just get stronger in my experience, and they come back with a vengeance. So the work that I teach is to love all parts of yourself and embrace that. And you do that through being in relationships with safe people that care about you, and they want your fullness. They want who you actually are. They don't want your mediocre self. They don't want your smaller self. They don't want the self that's willing to betray who you are just to make them happy. Yeah, so we're going for the kind of relationship with yourself that's deeper and more true. Not putting on another layer, another mask to make people happy or to get what you want relationally. No. Don't change your body. Don't change your face. Don't change your teeth, your mind. Just be you and learn to accept more of you. And yeah, if there's areas you don't like, as I said, then you work on improving those parts that are changeable. Some parts of us aren't that changeable. Some are. Figure out what those parts are and hire one of our relationship coaches. Come to the relationship school. Okay, don't ever hire a therapist or a coach that thinks you're broken and you need to be fixed. You're not. Okay, there's nothing wrong with you. There never was. But you matter and you're in pain and you want to like yourself more and appreciate yourself more. Cool, so do the work to do that. And do your own work quietly, journaling, meditation, that list I said, and then you start chipping away at it. And it's also, we do it in relationship. We learn to love ourselves and embrace ourselves in relationship with safe people. People that again, have our backs. And then people that are unsafe or kind of superficial friends, they show us where we're vulnerable. So they can be helpful. Even our enemies can be helpful because they show us where we'll compromise our integrity to keep connection. Ouch. We need to know that, right? It's good to know that stuff. Okay. Thanks, Youth Initiative High School. What's up? Appreciate you guys and your efforts with Denise and each other, and just the heart and truth you brought to the class. Denise said it was awesome. Thanks for caring. Be relational leaders out in the world. Okay. You guys are already probably more mature relationally than other kids your age. So take a stand for that. Be that person. Continue to learn. Continue to grow here. Because this is one of the most empowering life skills you'll ever have, is being good at human connection and relationships. All right. Okay. And for the listener, just so you know, we have been to 5 different schools, I believe. 4 or 5 different schools, Wisconsin and Colorado specifically, to teach relationship psychology basically to young people, because we want you young people to be empowered here, to be excited and to grow and be yourself and have the kind of love you want in your life. Okay. And no matter what industry you choose, you're going to be, again, more empowered because you're relationally adept at work, whatever job you choose in life, whatever vocation. All right. If you're interested in our youth program in general, Tanya is our youth coordinator, and you can just email us here at the Relationship School and we'll make sure that gets to Tanya. All right. Tanya is also one of our relationship coaches. So you should check out Tanya. And she is on our website, all right? relationshipschool.com / I think coaches, I believe. It's just hire an RS coach, okay, on the main page there. Okay, one last action step. Take one of the 7 questions. This is for all listeners here. For you, the listener, one of those 7 questions that you most related to, and create an action step out of that. And all it is here's my action step for the week based on boundaries, based on sex, based on ending the relationship, based on changing my relationship with myself. Here's my action step. I'm going to journal for 30 minutes. And then, as always, if you want to up your action step, you create accountability. You let someone know in your life, and you say, hey, I'm doing this fun exercise. I listen to this podcast. I'm doing an exercise where I create accountability and I learn about myself. And I'm telling you so I don't let myself off the hook. And you're welcome to do it with me or not. I just need to tell someone so that I'm accountable. If you want to up the ante again because you don't trust yourself, then you say, and I'll pay you $50 if I don't get it done by the end of the week. Okay, challenge yourself that way. All right, guys. Thanks. Talk soon. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Relationship School fans and Smart Couple listeners, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, all right? Do us a favor, subscribe, share one of these videos with a friend, all right? We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships, and you are one of them, so thank you.